Let's go. Cool kids step to the front. Cool kids. Too sweet sign for the click.
Bitch, you don't work
Gotta
there.
get the people what they want. Gotta get eradicate quick. Yeah, I'm up next on the Prince. They ain't been the same ever since. Living pretty
You're gonna
well
be
on the
single for the
challenge.
rest of your
I ain't
life.
giving no chance like this. Brock Lesnar on the beach.
Look at the heat.
Eat, sleep,
Look at
flex,
the
and
heat.
repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece.
Watch your
See the
ass.
power level gotta increase.
I get no
Freaking
bitches.
5'10"
I'm
on
a
the
hoe.
daily. Feeling like Gresh unleashed.
We're gonna try to be on one accord this week because we don't want to throw people off. But greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the Gresh and Suela podcast. I sound like a black pastor for some reason, but it is what it is. For those of you who don't know, I am the voice that does the most Gresh, and joining me as always is the Queen of Rebels herself, Suela the Bandit. And today we're going to be talking about, we're going to be sticking to the retro reviews, but this time we're going to step over to the competition of WCW, and we're going to go skip ahead in 1999 and talk about WWE or WWF Monday Night Raw from June. What is that? June
29th?
28th? June 28th, 1999.
28th. Okay.
And the description basically is the Peacock description was, who is the new owner of the WWE, aka the World Wrestling Federation? So we'll be talking about that as always. And just like we did last week, we're going to be talking about House of the Dragons. We're going to be talking about, probably going to throw in some unpopular wrestling opinions in there. But before we move on to today's show, we got to give a special shout out to our Patreon backers over at patreon.com. I sound a little distant, but I think I'm good. Patreon.com/Gresh Digital, because without you guys, we wouldn't be able to keep this podcast afloat. And I'm gonna be honest with you, hey, if it wasn't for you guys, I probably would have been coming out of my own pocket. But we thank you so much for keeping the lights on, if you will, as far as helping, and you get early access. For those of you who don't know what we do over at Patreon, you get early access to this content as well as the Gresh content, and as well as the watching and vibe segment that will be back shortly. It's like we just got to make sure our schedules are synced up, because I know for those of you who don't know or already don't know, I'm gonna be out of town for the next 2 weeks. But I got two interviews lined up in the queue for you guys, so you guys can won't be deprived of the Gresh Unleashed content. So that will more than likely take place of the next week episode as well as the week after, and then we'll be back with our regularly scheduled program hopefully before the holidays, because the holidays are quickly approaching, and it'll be literally Thanksgiving, and usually we take the holidays off, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So that way, for those of you, be prepared for the season 2 premiere of the Gresh Unleashed podcast, January 2023. Reddit, I'm back doing Reddit reaction videos on the Gresh YouTube channel, if you haven't already. Apparently the short versions always get more likes than the main version, but make sure you guys check that out if you guys want to be a part of that. Make sure you post anything interesting. Please be funny. For the love of God, please be funny. Over at the Reddit, that is r/Gresh, is straight to the point. You don't have to memorize any gimmicks. It's literally r/Gresh if you want to join the Reddit and be caught on the main channel, which is on the road to 5,000 subscribers. So hey, make sure you guys subscribe to that, and make sure you guys support that as well. And hopefully more on that to come. But before we move on to the retro review, let's catch up with Suela the Bandit. What's been up with you this weekend?
Well, my weekend was eventful. I'm gonna say that. I did get a chance to hang out with a couple of my cousins. We had this past Friday. We went to celebrate her husband's birthday and her best friend's birthday. They're like around the same month or so. And actually, I take that back. Yeah, they're around like the same month or so. So yeah, we celebrated that. We went to a cabin. So it was my first cabin trip for the first time. I believe it was their first cabin trip as well. We had fun. We had a blast. It was like a good 3-day weekend, really 2 days, because we came back Sunday. So it was actually pretty cool. We went to some place like near like Blue Ridge Mountain or something like that. But it was all right. The weather was actually kind of nice too. So yeah, like we had fun. It was cool. Like I want to say it was different I'll say that. But other than that, like, it was pretty cool. Like, we didn't have no animals come out on us out of nowhere. Nobody was attacked. Nobody was hurt. We were safe. So we had a good time. It was a good time.
Oh, Michael didn't come and kill y'all?
Now, like, we
No
black.
Michael Myers? Oh, man.
All of us black. Anybody, please. You can come to the cabin if you want to.
Jason wasn't there either? Like, come
Nope.
on. Like, hey, man, Jason's slipping. Because they supposed to be.
Big time.
They
He
slipping because
ain't coming to Georgia with that. Like,
you supposed to be stalking the cabins and stuff, but you out here
man, no.
not on your food and
Not
stuff.
us. We had fun though. Like, we had a good time. Like, we played like a couple games and stuff like that too. So it was pretty cool. So I will give like a shout out to my cousin though, for real. Like, the games that she made us play, it was called Shout Out and Bad People. So one day, like, when we all get together, like one of these days, I'm gonna have to like buy those 2 games and bring them. Like, it's fun. Like, when I tell you, so much fun, so much fun. A lot of company. That's what I will say. We could not stop laughing like throughout the whole weekend.
Oh God!
Oh man!
If I do that shit,
Oh yeah, you're going to. Like, don't worry, you're gonna be fine.
I might be bullied. Nah, I don't care if you bully me. Y'all,
Man.
you can suck my balls if you. Like,
We had a good time though. I did get a chance to catch up with SmackDown for a little bit, but I was like, you know what? All right, it's okay.
Yeah,
Somebody who I like went on the show this episode.
We'll eventually talk about modern wrestling at some point in the future.
Right.
Y'all might as well get used to the retro reviews.
But I finished my retro review. That's for sure. I did that. Like, I said, yeah.
I know she got some notes because I told her to skim through, but pay attention to certain things. Because let's be real, some of the matches on this show, didn't mean jack shit.
I was like, whoa, what?
I sit down waiting for I hear the bell ring, and then I look up, match is over. I'm like,
right.
Well, all right. So if you are the type of wrestling fan that actually cares about the matches, Attitude Era was not for you. They didn't. The matches did not. They did not care. But before we move on to with the rest of today's show, if you haven't already, make sure you catch up on all the interviews that I've done in the very past, because we got a few interviews coming up that's going to drop next week, and the one that I'm talking about is not with none other than Phoenix Nitro of the Vibe House, aka I want to make sure I get this right. He is the narrator of Violence. So make sure you guys catch up with the previous interviews with Vibe members like BDE, X3, Deontay DDJ, DPW's Tyler El Guapo, independent wrestler Ruthless Lala, who I'm actually going to work to get her back on the show because she wants to go longer than 30 minutes, because I had her for 30 minutes and she was mad that I cut it short. But DPW's Chris Danger as well, it's aka content creator Chris Dinker, all available now on YouTube or wherever you subscribe to your podcast, www.greshandleash.com. But this one is coming up very, very well next week, in 7 days from now. It is a intense conversation that I had. We was talking about wrestling. Obviously, we were talking about the company that he is signed for as as one of the commentators. He is the narrator of Violence, legitimately. He's a commentator now, as well as we talked about mental health, because that's a serious topic, because we literally went off the cuff when we talked about mental health. We talked about social media and all that good stuff on how we basically protect our mental health when it comes to being content creators and all that good stuff. But make sure you guys check that out. It's next week, and it'll be a one you don't want to miss. Every solitary second of it is going to be some nuggets in there for you, especially if you guys want to make memes and stuff. You can make some memes out of this, because we say some things that is going to either make you laugh, cry, anger. You're going to feel emotions when you listen to this interview. Make sure you check it out. 1 week from today, Phoenix Nitro joins the Unleashed table to go unleashed on every single thing we talk about.
You stupid dick! You done lost your damn mind, and I'm gonna help you find it. Shut your mouth.
You guys are probably confused on why we're bringing this back. Unpopular wrestling opinions, where we usually try to go through Discord to get people's unpopular wrestling opinions, especially when it's we try to submit it anonymously, so people won't be cyberbullied, because people they get weird when it comes to wrestling. But I stepped over to wrestle sections for this episode so we can get some opinions that I was like, this is interesting. Submitted over at wrestle sections over on Instagram. Someone said Angelo Dawkins, if booked right, would have a better singles run than Montez Ford. Because I think I think they said that because a lot of people tend to put Montez on a bigger pedestal when they do the basically the inevitable tag team split between the two. So they assume that, hey, if Montez Ford is booked better, I mean, it's all about the booking. And because from what I've seen, when both men are singles, they actually kill it. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be against it, but I didn't even know Montez was injured because he has a foot injury.
Oh wow.
We didn't find out literally until Raw, the actual modern Raw, uh, last night at the time of this recording. So he has a boot on his foot. He was in a segment with the Uso or the Bloodline, and it led to a match between Dawkins and Solo Sikoa.
Okay.
So I'm guessing hopefully it's not like a long standing injury, but hopefully he recovers. He had a boot, so hopefully he recovers and wishing for a speedy recovery. Next up, we said Kane deserved at least one WrestleMania main event. Depend on which version of Kane you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
98 Kane, maybe when he was fresh into his run against the Undertaker. 2001 Kane, maybe when he was with it was Undertaker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction, because he was on a nice little run there when he first unmasked in 2003. Most definitely, if they booked it right, because him fresh unmasked was kind of like he was still kind of heat. Like he was like this was before he this is around the time he electrocuted Shane's balls. That version. So you know what I'm saying. But other than that, anything after that, it was kind of like it was a sale ship. But I don't disagree with that that submission. WWE is currently at its best since 2016. Yes and no. The reason I say no is it's not perfect. It has its moments. Your mic just went out. So your mic just went out. It has its moments where it feels kind of hit or miss, and then it has its moments where it's like, oh, okay, sounds good, and you got to take it into fact that it's a honeymoon phase. It's a honeymoon. Triple H is fresh in charge. He's still doing his thing, and I'm stalling because Sweller's mic went out. You know, we're live. It happens. Life happens. But Triple H is doing his honeymoon phase. It's a whole nine. Will we get to the point where it says, man, this shit sucks again? Who knows? But right now we're in the honeymoon phase, and hopefully that we get to that point where it gets better, if you will. Or not like that. I'm thrown off because Swella is having technical difficulties, but we're gonna roll with the punches. Seth Rollins is the best in-ring performer of this generation. I mean, he's always been great in ring. I'm more of a character guy, so uh if he is not how do you say, if his character is kind of like not really all there, then I'm probably not going to like for instance, when he had his match with the Fiend in 2019 or that Hell in a Cell, his entire that entire debacle, the booking, it literally killed Rollins' gimmick for me. And I was just not caring about that man until he turned heel, became the Messiah, and then he finally found his niche as the visionary, the church choir director, basically. So now, hopefully, as he progresses, yeah, he can arguably, that is one conversation that you can have. He's arguably one of the best, if not the best wrestlers in the world, or especially in this current generation. And last but not least, Sami Zayn is a good in-ring performer, and that's it. He's not a great character like the hype going on currently. Uh I would highly disagree. I would highly disagree because Sami Zayn, if it's like he is carrying he is carrying his workload. He is entertaining. He literally has Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, the Usos, who are supposed to be like a serious character, breaking gimmick. They're breaking they're breaking character because of this man. So it is it is it is a disagreement. I will probably have to disagree with you. Sami Zayn is good both in ring and he is a great character in my opinion. So it's all opinionated. You have any thoughts? Let's roll a little bit back. Hopefully your microphone is good now.
Can y'all
Uh,
hear me now?
yep, yeah, we're good. All right, so let's rewind a little bit to get your opinion on this. WWE is currently at its best since 2016. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow. So it's like yes and no.
So basically, like I said, yeah, it's yes and no. It's like it has its good moments, but then it has its moments where you're like, oh, okay, this is still left over
Mhm.
from Vince. This is still a Vince thing. Like this is still a Vince decision. So you kind of like, okay.
Like, all right. Let's try to spin it a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? So it that's what I'm saying. And then like I was saying, it's a honeymoon period. So basically everybody is Triple H is freshly in charge. He's only been in there for like 2 months now, or going on 2 months now, 3 months at the latest. So it's like people are still buzzed about, oh snap, he is interesting. Like you got this thing with the white rabbit with who is the white rabbit? Who's behind these vignettes or these little QR codes, which I am not scanning no more. I don't give a I'm gonna need social media to scan the QR codes and let me know what's behind them because I'm done. Because they'll flash it in the most random time and then I'll be like, whoa, that's too quick. I'm not finna rewind and pause. Y'all gonna have to give it to me because I like at this point I'm like, all right, but I
Especially
am
when I don't
intrigued
feel like getting up.
or to rewind. I'm like, but I do like one thing I do like about it. If this leads to more stuff like this, then we're in good hands so far because Triple H is aware that hey, this type of stuff draws people's attention. It
Mhm.
forces you to pay attention, which was pretty much hard to do back when Vince was in charge, or the later parts of when Vince was in charge. It's like he lost that sense of urgency to keep people interested because he's like, people are gonna watch regardless. People are gonna do whatever. They're gonna talk about it. He don't care. So now Triple H is like, okay, yeah, we got the people who want to talk about, it, but we also want to get new people, and you have some people coming back to watch it out of interest. And then I
Mhm.
believe the last thing I talked about was Seth Rollins is the best in-ring performer of this generation.
Wow.
Would you agree or disagree? And why?
It's like a bit of both. Cause Sami Zayn is pretty great.
Yep.
Um, Bobby Lashley is definitely pretty great as well. So it's hard to just say just Seth Rollins alone. That's kind of hard for me, cause like he's not the only one. So
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. Would that be an unpopular opinion? Yes and no. It's like I say, the beauty behind wrestling, professional wrestling, is it's so subjective that someone that you think is the best in the world can suck to somebody else.
Mhm.
And someone who I think is the best in the world, I for one think Brian Danielson is the best in the world. Uh, Kevin Owens is the best in the world. Roman Reigns now is the best in the world. Seth Rollins, his current version, is the best in the world. Like if I look back at the Beast Slayer or the King Slayer,
Mhm.
I was not really sold on him yet until he became this entertaining, and the in ring was always there. But
Mhm.
once he got that character that was like, okay, this is entertaining, this catches my attention. You're always paying attention to like what the fuck does he be wearing?
Mhm.
What is he talking about? Or like, oh, he's out of pocket.
Mhm.
If he's it depends on if he hates you. So I'm like, that's what I like. And Bobby Lashley now, like at first, I wasn't a fan of his at first. Like I didn't really pay too much attention to him when he was in his first run. in ECW or SmackDown, ECW, Raw, his first, like from 2006 to 2007, because I was a young fan, so I didn't really pay too much attention to all that. I was more so enamored with the Batistas and the John Cenas and the Undertakers and the Shawn Michaels and Randy Ortons and Edges. So I didn't really pay too much attention to Bobby Lashley. But then once he went to TNA and became the Walking Armageddon, and then he came back to WWE, I ignored the very first versions of WWE his return, because they didn't know what they had in him. But then once the pandemic hit, they didn't have no choice but to know what they had in him. So when he beat the Miz, become the WWE champion, when he was the United States champion the first time, and then, or the second time, because he's technically a 3-time US champion, then now he's US champion, he's making the title mean important. He's now one of the best wrestlers wrestlers / sports entertainers in the world, in my opinion. So that's what I'm saying. It's subjective overall. So it all depends on who do you think, how do you think, and all the good stuff. So with that being said, hopefully, let me for the future unpopular wrestling opinions, if you guys want to, make sure you join the Gresh Discord and submit your opinions, or hit me up on social media at Josh Gresham ORG or at Gresham Unleashed, and then I think we'll probably start trying to post a post to say, hey, give me your best unpopular wrestling opinions, and we'll read them out. That simple. That simple.
Or they could just do it off for Instagram. Like, you know how that thing, like, ask me anything or something like that? You could just change the little caption and be like, you know.
Yeah, I'll probably do that too. So I need to give her the social media accounts, at passwords, but then again, it might be full of Roman Reigns love, so I don't know.
Man, no, it won't. Don't boost my head up.
Sorry about that. Now's the time that we talk about the Unleashed on the House. This is the Unleashed on the House segment where we talk about Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Did you catch Sundays? I know you was in the cabin, so you.
I caught it.
Oh, you caught.
I caught all of it. All of it. And I knew that was gonna happen anyway, but I caught all of it. Wow. Now I will say this: the faking death segment was kind of nice.
That caught me off guard. I'm like, don't tell me y'all gonna kill this brother.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, that did catch me, because I was like, wait a minute. I was like, okay, I know how ruthless y'all can be, but please don't kill him. Like, don't do that. And to my surprise, nope, they didn't kill him. Now I do feel bad for his parents.
Yeah, because they lost both their kids.
Because they lost both their kids now. Like, and it's like back to back. Yeah, I definitely feel bad for them. I was like, this man alive. Like, what? I was like, but they don't know that.
Bald. I didn't even know they had a barber in Westeros.
Right.
That man cut all his hair.
Cut all his hair. Like,
he's gonna live a new life. He's gonna live a new life. Him and his whore.
Right. Like, none cut all his hair off. I was like, all right now.
But apparently someone pointed out to us that was a different from the book, because in the book he actually was killed.
Yeah.
But then someone contradicted that and said GRRM, George, I believe that's his name, the writer.
George R.R. Martin. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that the book was basically conflicting point of views. So, but he said what's in the show is actually canon.
Oh, yeah.
So more than likely, people assume that he died, but they actually let him go. So that basically was their way of saying Rhaenyra is going to be ruthless, because I believe in the book she eventually becomes ruthless. So they're going to say she's ruthless, but she's not that ruthless. She has a soft spot. So basically, they just said, "Yay, gay rights! He lives."
Basically.
That man lived. Did you see that fight with the kids?
Boy, did I see it?
They ganged up on that man. They said,
For real.
They said, fight back, nigga. Fight back. Fight back.
And then you already know, like, the little boy, he done lied on his own brother, like, to save his tail. And I'm just like, bruh, really?
He said, who told these lies?
Like,
Aegon. And he like, me.
What? What you Like, if you don't get out of here, boy, I'll punch you myself. Like,
Yo,
don't play with me.
yo, shout out to the actor because I don't think that was supposed to be funny, but
But it was
he unintentionally made that shit. But he like
me.
me,
Like, what you mean?
me. What I
Wait,
do?
hold on. Where you get this from?
He probably was like, "What'd you say? Fuck me for?" But then,
Like, I'm gonna make sure I deal with you when this is over. I'm gonna put out your other eye
but then when you
line
look,
like that.
but then when you look back at the reason why he did that was because if he would have said his mother, she would have died.
Oh
Because,
yeah.
but seeing as he's technically the rightful male heir, they're
Mm-hmm.
not going to do anything to him. They're just gonna dismiss it like, oh, he's just hearing rumors. But
Mm-hmm.
this entire episode basically established that Allison is obsessed with Rhaenyra's personal life.
Right.
And for what?
Like, girl,
For,
bye.
for what, woman? What do you
Girl,
want?
bye. What?
What
What?
what do
What do
you
you want? You
want?
want to be her?
Do you
If you
want her
want to
pussy
be
that
her,
bad?
boy.
Do you want her pussy that
Do
bad?
you want to be her, or you just what?
Do
Like,
you want to eat?
what's up?
Do you want to eat her box or something? Because you so obsessed with her
You
cooch.
right? You trying to figure out who she with, who she sleeping with, who the. Why you need to know all that? What's it to you?
She want the box.
You trying to be with her? Like,
She want that
come
Rhaenyra
on, bruh.
pussy. She want that Rhaenyra
Man, she
pussy.
just desperate. Like,
She want that. She want that Rhaenyra pussy.
and what got me was I said, okay, like you already know, like, okay, homegirl gonna do whatever she got to do to try to get her boys like in the seat or whatever the case may be, and you got that warning when she cut you on the arm. Like you know, like
Mhm.
that ain't no real friend. Like really, bro.
But nah,
I said, yeah, time for war. I'm ready. Like,
that line that she said, now they know you for who you truly are. So they
mm-hmm.
basically set up like, hey, some people want to see that. So you're gonna attack the throne. So
Yep.
let's not side with you. And I'm pretty sure the next episode, seeing as the preview doesn't really show Viserys, I'm pretty sure it's probably setting up to where he's going to eventually die at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to it's Team Green versus Team Black.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So Team Green is going to probably control rule in his name, even though he can't really make a lot of decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then obviously they continue with the uncle niece marriage.
I knew that was gonna happen anyway.
Yeah, and it's still gross, no matter
But
how you put it.
it is still gross.
No matter how you put it.
She gonna need some
They,
strong people. So
they said the behind the scenes episode. They was like, oh, it's they want to keep the bloodline pure. No, the way no matter how you spin it,
no matter right,
it's still disgusting. I do
right.
not give a damn.
Don't blame me.
And I'm like, oh my god, this woman is still in love with her uncle 10 years after he said
Right,
no.
like
And they still had sex on the beach because of course. And then after they faked Lenore, is it Lenore?
I think so.
I was
It's
pronouncing it
Lenore.
Lenore. I think it's Lenore, but I was pronouncing it Lenore for some reason. But yeah, Lenore, his fake death set up for them to be married.
Mm-hmm.
And so now here's how here's how fucked up the bloodline is. The bloodline is.
Man,
You got Damon and his kids, Rhaenyra and her kids. Damon's kids is Rhaenyra's kid's cousin. Now slash brothers and
yeah, they cousins and brothers and sisters. Yes,
they're cousins slash bro and step brothers and sisters.
basically.
And Rhaenyra is cousin is
Rhaenyra is the boy's older sister on Allison's side,
oh.
which means those are her little brothers, so to
The
speak.
little Allison's Allison's half brothers. I mean, kids are Rhaenyra's half brothers. And now when Damon and Rhaenyra, because I'm pretty sure if they keep it to the book, she's gonna have at least 2 more kids by Damon. So now they're gonna be brothers.
There's a lot of confusion going on. Family, just too much. Inbred family. That's what that is. Just a whole inbred family. Now
I think we need to.
family. It's just too much going on.
I think we need to stop saying sweet home Alabama. I
Yeah,
think we need to stop saying sweet home Alabama. We need to start saying sweet home Targaryen.
For real, cause man.
You see the silence that I have trying to explain this bloodline?
It's too much.
Silence. It's a lot. It's a lot. But if you haven't seen
my mama watching it right now. Because I heard the music earlier.
She's probably confused too.
She gonna be just upset.
She's gonna be like, so
oh god.
How do you explain this bloodline?
I don't.
They fucking. That's all I can do.
That's all I can say.
But them dragons, it's like
the dragons is lit though, man. Like I am kind of okay. I was a little mad that the little boy ended up claiming the dragon, but I wasn't, because I was just like, listen, if your mama, the girl's mama, your mama just died, one of y'all should have been out there going to get that dragon.
That's my thing.
Instead of waiting for an opportunity, go get it.
Because that's my thing. She died. If you go by canon of the storyline, I believe from the episode that she died to the funeral, it was a whole month. So you had a whole month to claim the dragon.
Boy, bump that! I would have got it that day. I wouldn't have to wait a whole month. I was like, I get it, mama gone, but
if you knew that was your mom's dying wish to keep it within you guys,
come on,
common sense would be like, let me go claim it. I understand you're grieving. Like, let's be real. Some people grieve. I think that's probably comes to the territory, because some men, we don't really give a shit. We'll just like, we'll grieve differently, but we're gonna claim that dragon.
Exactly.
Some women, they don't really think. They think with their emotion. And
yeah, some women do that. Some women do. They'll try to cry and get all this other stuff out of the way first. And some women be like, "Nah, I'll cry when I get up in the air, because I ain't got time trying to cry on land. Let me fly in the air and get some time to myself."
And it was
with my dragon, I can start crying.
It funny is the one that was complaining. But I think, because one had an egg and the other one didn't. So the one that didn't have the egg wanted to claim her mother's dragon, but too late.
It's too late now.
So now you're stuck with the other one. Hopefully the egg hatches at some point, because I believe it's gonna be another time jump. I believe it's gonna be. Let me pull up the tweet that I saw, because it was like, it's gonna be another time jump. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me! Another fucking time jump? Another one?
They trying to make these people grow up quick.
And they
ain't wasting no time.
And I get it, but at the same time, it's like, dog, can we not? Can y'all slow the fuck down?
Nope.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, go read. Go read. Do all the catching up you need from there.
All right, so here's the current timeline. So season 1 was 6 months before episode 2. So that was like, it was a 6-month gap between episodes 1 and 2. Episode 2 and 3 was a 3-year gap. Episode 3 and 4, it was a 1-year gap. Episode 4 and 5 was a 1-month gap. Episode 5 and 6 was a 10-year gap. Episode 6 and 7 that we just watched was a 1-month gap. And then episode 7 and 8, the one we're going to watch, is going to be a 6-year gap. So it's going to be a whole nother time jump. The only actors
that went down in 6 years.
I think the only actors that are going to change is some of the Targaryens, the ones that were. The one that got cut up, he's gonna get older. The Aemon, his character's gonna go up, and he ain't beating no Joffrey allegations, because the actor who playing him gives me that vibe. I'm like, you're not beating the Joffrey allegations, my brother. You are not. And I believe they said after this is gonna be. I think they said after this is going to be that's it as far as like time jumps. So because I believe after
Hopefully.
episode 8, it's 2 episodes left for the season, and then we're gonna have to wait another 2 years for a new season. Because I think they take forever. I think they take literally a year
It
to
take a while for
film
production.
these episodes, especially when if you watch the Game of Thrones, so you know
Mm-hmm.
how long it took for them to release that final season, even though it was shit. But I digress. Other than that, this episode actually a lot of shit happened.
Mm-hmm.
You had and as much as I hate Allison, I gotta give Olivia Cook her actress props because she ate that scene with her
Yeah.
and Emma. They killed it as well. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, hopefully they win some Emmys or something. Because I don't really care too much about awards, but hopefully they win some Emmys or something for the way they acted in this scene because it was banging for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to to the queen that never was, because I know she going through it right now. She lost both her kids.
Yeah, man. I'm like, are you gonna step up now? What you gonna do?
I'm pretty sure she's gonna try to get her granddaughters to be the be the heir to
Mm-hmm.
the drift to I believe this, what is it, drift mark or something like that,
I think so. Yeah.
because
Driftmark.
they're going to because everybody knows that Rhaenyra's kids are not of Valerian or Venerian blood. Like they white
Mm-hmm.
as fuck. They white as fuck. Ain't no black in
Everybody
them.
know that.
Ain't no black in them. Ain't like dog. And then he said, shout out to Lenore. He said he tried, but he just couldn't. I'm like, bro, y'all got a medieval plan B, but y'all didn't have a medieval way for the cover to impregnate his wife.
That
Like,
shit, he didn't care.
y'all he couldn't jack off to a man and y'all couldn't just insert the semen in her and then boom, there's a baby.
He don't care. He like, man, whatever.
No, he actually cared because that's what he's
Yeah,
like.
I tell
He
that back.
said,
Yeah.
he said, I wish. He said, I wish I
Mm-hmm.
would. He said, I had hope to bury your children in the few times we laid together. So they basically tried. I hate the gods for making
Made
me
me this way. Yeah.
as they
Something
did.
like that.
And she in character, even though they are in real life, they are queer. But I do not. You are an honorable man with a good heart. It's a rare thing. And I'm like, yay. She don't hate him. Thank you. Thank you. So,
Right.
but overall, if you haven't seen this episode, make sure you check it out. And hopefully, hopefully, hopefully they don't fuck us up. They don't fuck us over by the end of the season, because I'm pretty sure we got it.
Boy, I'm just preparing for it in case it does happen.
Right. Before we move any further with today's show, I would like to take the time to highlight a black content creator for this week. And this week's spotlight will be shined on none other than the creator and powers that be behind On the Sidelines, aka OTS Media. Someone I've had the pleasure of knowing for the better part of well over a decade. I believe our first conversation was possibly 2011, 2012, give or take. And ever since, he's been the guy behind the scenes pushing me as a fellow creator, whether it's be as my camera op for a canceled short film that will never see the light of day, or just a voice of reason for when I want to quit overall. He's been a constant friend, mentor, and well-documented guest for this brand in the past. He is none other than DJ, aka Derek Myers Jr. Love you, bro. Appreciate you for everything that you do.
Look, hard work pays off, y'all, I promise. It don't come without the struggles if I'm honest. But I wouldn't change it for the better. One network at a time, we together. Like some, I work a 9 to 5 to pay bills and invest in this life of mine. But still, I gotta find the time to go harder on the grind with ideas in mind. Yeah. I had to live by 3 rules and hold them all to heart when I work with my tools. First off, don't compare yourself to anybody on another level willing to wealth. And now, too, you gotta trust the process. Your passion will pay for it.
All right, now's the time we talk about this week's retro review. We step into Monday Night Raw from June 28th, 1999. The description is: who is the new owner / CEO of the WWE World Wrestling Federation, if you will? We got the WWF Attitude version is now playing. I was like, and all I wrote down was like,
Mm-hmm.
I was all I
Mm.
when it was playing, I wrote all I could write down was, God, I hope this doesn't suck. Because I'm still recovering from that WCW episode that we reviewed last week. That shit was terrible.
It's crazy how like when you're a kid, you watch the stuff and you be like, okay, cool. And then when you get older, you be like, okay, wait a minute.
Ooh,
What was y'all thinking? Like
what
it'd
was
be a
this?
total opposite.
What was this?
Whose idea was this?
This shit was ass. Like, you don't know what is going on. Like, what are you doing?
Whose idea was this?
Well, we kick off the show with a recap of the King of the Ring 1999, where Stone Cold faced Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon in a ladder match with the ownership was at stake. This is basically the fallout from the higher power gimmick. It's me, Austin. Oh, son of a bitch. And Linda McMahon naming Stone Cold as the new CEO. We'll probably get around to reviewing that one of those episodes at some point because we randomize our reviews. So stay locked on that. The briefcase, the ending of the match was basically where the briefcase was tampered with when Stone Cold was reaching for the contract and lowered when Shane climbed the ladder to win the match. And now the McMahons are back in control of the World Wrestling Federation. Before we get into the opening of the show, you want to check out the competition because last time we reviewed WCW, Monday Night Raw was preempted, so they didn't even run a show that week. But this week they actually ran a show over on Monday Nitro live from Chicago, Illinois. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They had 8 matches, and this is when they had the WCW logo on there for the stage. This one right here.
Oh yeah,
I remember that one. I appreciate that one. That one actually looks better than
it does.
the other
It's just
ones.
a ramp.
It's a ramp, and it's like it's literally WCW, and then the C right there lowers every time
Mm-hmm.
they walk out. I didn't know it until I actually watched an episode of this, so I can understand that. But from when I looked at this, a lot of these matches were random as hell too.
Yes, they were.
Perry Saturn and Chris Benoit defeated Finley and David Taylor. Eddie Guerrero defeated Lenny Lane. Don't know who that is. Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Hack, whoever the fuck that is. Barry Windham, Kendall Windham, Kurt Hennig, and Bobby Duncan Jr. defeated Brian Adams, Vincent, Horace Hogan, and Stevie Ray. Talk about a random ass 8-man tag team match. I'm glad I didn't watch that. Ernest Miller fought Disco Inferno to a no contest. WCW World Tag Team Champions Diamond Dallas Page and Canyon defeated Dean Malenko and Buff Bagwell. Sid Vicious defeated Scott Putski. And then in the main event, WCW World Champion Kevin Nash defeated David Flair via disqualification in the lumberjack match. So a DQ in a lumberjack match where outside interference touches you to put you back in the match. Anyway, moving on because that sounds like ass. Moving on from that, we kick off the show with the intro, and that shit go hard. I ain't gonna hold you. That intro, well, the boss of the south of the song to beat. I don't know what they were saying, but it got me hype. It's better than whatever the fuck they got going on in today's WWE. Because Raw needs intro music like this again. The same with SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, the songs that they have now, "Are You Ready?" They
Mm-hmm.
aren't terrible, but it doesn't get you as hyped as you should be when you're watching a wrestling opinion. At least in my opinion. Monday Night Raw comes to you live from Charlotte, North Carolina Coliseum, and it is sold out with the fallout from the WWF 1999 King of the Ring on tap. Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler are your commentators for this. And then we kicked off the show with the corporate ministry. And I ain't gonna lie, this remix, it's kind of a bop. I was bopping my head a little bit. I was like,
It wasn't that bad. It was actually kind of cool.
It's a celebration with balloons and confetti and all that stuff. The Undertaker is the WWF champion after retaining the title against The Rock, thanks to interference from Triple H. Uh, the Undertaker, for some reason, when he rolled his eyes to the back of his head, it reminded me of a story when I was in school. Because I remember growing up, I was I was kind of. It was around the time I was fresh into watching wrestling, and I was kind of a loner, and people was kind of messing with me a little bit. So I just rolled my eye. So you can ask my mom and my sister the story. It's literally hilarious because they would say like they would not leave me alone for shit. So what I did was I rolled my eyes to the back of my head, like the Undertaker, and they ran off because they thought I was possessed. And I'm pretty sure I don't remember them kids because it was one of the transitional periods when I was going from school to school. So it was I probably wouldn't even remember those kids if I see them today. But I'm pretty sure they probably still talk about that to this day because it was hilarious because every time I see the Undertaker rolls eyes the back of my head, that story always pops in my brain because it made kids leave me alone because they thought I was possessed.
Mhm.
So I appreciate that.
It came in handy now.
Vince McMahon tries to cut a promo and the crowd was not having it. This was pre what whenever people cut promos because I despise the what chants because nobody dick rides what chants more than wrestling fans.
Yes.
Every time, like that was imminent on Raw and imminent on SmackDown. Like, bro, just shut up. Like,
Mm. It's like now I see what you're talking about because at first like it didn't used to bother me as much. Now that I've like seen it so many times happening again and again and again, it's like okay, y'all,
what?
I'm annoyed.
What? Please
It's
shut up.
one thing to do it when it's like necessary and it's hilarious, but when you just constantly just keep doing it just for noise, just to hear yourself, it's like okay,
No, like, all right, man. All right.
make it stop.
Vince said it's a night we will never ever forget, and they kept putting that over and over again throughout the entire night. Vince McMahon said it will be a night that we will never ever forget. And then Shane McMahon officially fired Stone Cold Steve Austin as the CEO of the WWF. Vince McMahon says that the future of Stone Cold will see him start and remain at the bottom of the proverbial ladder. Vince McMahon says Stone Cold will compete in a preliminary match, which is basically the open match, and break down the ring. He basically saying you're going to be a jobber.
Mm.
Vince then acknowledged Undertaker defeating The Rock. I don't know why he curled his lip the way that he did when he said The Rock. He said, like, what are you doing? Vince McMahon then proposed that the Undertaker defend the WWF title at Fully Loaded against Triple H. Then Vince McMahon promised that tonight will be a night we never ever forget forever. And I'm like, all right. And then the Big Boss Man's theme song played, and it's not the one that I was used to when I'm watching the Attitude Era. It was from his first run, Hard Times. You get the hard times. I'm like, all right, here we go. Here's
Throwback.
another. He made his entrance opposed to the corporate ministry, and I was like, we might have another Steinerized moment because that thing is
Mhm.
kind of good too. That thing's always kind of good too. So I was like, all right, I'll start it. But I had to rewind it again, and then I just looked it up on YouTube and started bopping to it. Cause I'm like, okay, this is actually not a bad song. Um,
Mhm.
Vince held back the ministry from attacking Boss Man, and he challenged him to go face to face with he and Shane, but that was a ruse, as he said, "I love you guys." And then they embraced and they hugged the Boss Man. And then Shane McMahon told Stone Cold that McMahon 632 says, "Payback's a bitch." I'm like, bro, people be getting mad about them making fake Bible verses. I forgot all about this Bible verse.
Right.
The glass then shattered to an eruption, and Stone Cold Steve Austin made his way to the stage in his baseball jersey and Hoochie Daddy shorts, pre-knee brace Austin. Stone Cold called out the conspiracy BS of the ending of the match, and Stone Cold says he knew he'd get screwed, so he took out an insurance policy and wrote up himself a new contract with extra zero. So he basically made himself richer. And there was a stipulation added to his original contract where he couldn't physically assault Vince McMahon unless he's been provoked, and he changed that too. And it's open season on Vince McMahon, where Stone Cold said he can punch him in his little mouth, and all he can do is pick up his little teeth and put them in his shirt pocket and go about his day. And then he said, "I'm gonna show up to your house and I'm gonna ring the doorbell and I'm gonna punch you in the face, and all you can do is nothing but reach down and pick up your little teeth, put it in your shirt pocket, and say, 'Linda, he beat my ass again.'" And then knowing he would get screwed the night before, he booked himself in a WWE title match against the Undertaker later on in the evening, with the added stipulation where if anyone from the corporate ministry interfered, Undertaker would get DQ'd and Stone Cold will be awarded the title as a result. So this was basically a 20-minute opening promo that we should get used to watching when it comes to the Vince McMahon era of the corporation. And it's going to get worse when Triple H becomes the face of the company as the heel. Oh boy. Then we get Steve Blackman versus Ken Shamrock in a weapons match. That is up next. Ken Shamrock is dressed in the most 1999 getup I've ever seen. Like them little jeans that you have all the way up to your belly button with no belt on. That was the most 1999 attire I have ever seen in my life. We might need to bring that back. We're shown a. You said what?
Might.
We're showing a replay of Steve Blackman assaulting Shamrock during his match against Shane McMahon on Sunday Night Heat, with Shamrock bleeding internally. It's like he was bleeding from the mouth. Shamrock sends a message to Vince McMahon that he's going to eventually get him, and then tells Blackman to bring his Kung Fu punk ass out here. And I'm like, Kung Fu punk ass is the most 1999 insult I've ever seen, because that shit was corny. Shamrock is fighting against Doctor's Honor, so he's basically selling his ribs. Blackman hit Shamrock with the nunchucks and caused Shamrock to bleed from the mouth again, with Blackman ripping the shirt and going in on the taped ribs. Blackman then hit Shamrock with a kendo stick, grabbed his bag, and just left. He just dipped. No bell rung or nothing after. They won the first time, and then he just said, "All right, that's enough," and then just walked away. And they didn't mention it. Like, I'm like, so no contest? That's all I could assume when I watched this part. I was like, so
that's
no
it.
like that's it. So this match was literally 2 minutes and 58 seconds. That is not enough time for me to get invested in this match. I'm like, all right. This happened. Backstage, Shamrock was bleeding still, yelling at people to get away from him. So he don't want help with the bleeding or nothing. He just said, "Get away." I'm like, all right. Then we'll get an interview with Michael Cole from the 1999 King of the Ring, Mr. Ass, B.A. Billy Gunn, after defeating X-Pac in the finals. He's holding the World Tag Team title belt, but he's not the Tag Team Champion, but he's the King of the Ring. And when he walked out, I said, "Oh shit, I forgot he was the King of the Ring." That did happen. Billy Gunn corrects Michael Cole by saying his name is Badass Billy Gunn. They cut to a group of people holding a sign that says "Got Ass." Yeah, I was wild in the Attitude Era. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This was a promo basically solidifying Gunn as a narcissistic prick. Do they still? And I want to know, do they still sell those Mr. Ass shirts? Because the back says 4 words: check out my ass. That shit was the most 1999 shit that I've ever seen. Everything in this attire wise was 1999. Because then we heard the best Triple H theme song ever, "Don't At Me." 1, 2. Is this on? Hey, yo, Jimmy hit me with that Triple H. My time came on as Triple H, and China came out to interrupt this promo. And like I just said, I was talking about Fitz. His attire was peak 1999. Backwards leather cap, baggy pants. Like it's like they fit, but then they don't fit from the quads down. And then those loose fitted sleeveless t-shirts that he had on, like it was literally 1999 all from a T. And then I guess Billy Gunn thought he was about to fight. He said, "Easy ass man, easy." I'm like, bro, say pause when you say that shit. What the fuck?
Right. They just
Paul,
wild with it, boy. Like they don't be caring.
pause. Uh, Triple H brings up the fact that they aren't getting royalties for the DX merchandise, claiming they quote unquote were DX. The crowd started chanting HBK because I guess he was DX as well. This was basically the start of the Gun China versus Road Dogg X Pac story for the rights to the DX name. I believe they had it at the next pay per view, and I believe Road Dogg and X Pac won, but it really didn't matter because DX ended up breaking up anyway until Triple H turned heel in '99 and they became DX again. So it really didn't mean shit. After Triple H called for them to play the money making music, The Rock came literally out of left. He literally, a lot of these wrestlers have a habit of cutting in frame. Because I'm like, where did you come from? He stormed to the ring and assaulted both Mr. Ass and Triple H with referees and backstage officials attempted to pull them apart, which they succeeded in doing. We got a lot of pull apart brawls during this show. It was a lot of those. Next up, we get they had an interview with Chaz about breaking character, and I was confused when they said this until I remember this was around the time they had him play a character where he was asking for mama's milk, aka they were teasing an incest gimmick between him and the woman playing his mama, Harry Beaver Cleavage. I don't know if you know about that, but that was a gimmick that they tried to get over with his girlfriend Mariana playing his mama.
Oh
They
yeah, I do remember that.
they basically killed that gimmick dead because I'm sure they got backlash for it at the time, but they probably should try again in 2022 because we got a whole Game of Thrones show on about a plethora of incest. So have at it. Have Harry Beaver Cleavage, Sarah Beaver Cleavage, Mama Luke Beaver Cleavage, Mr. Ass Beaver Cleavage. Have all these Beaver Cleavages on Monday Night Raw go up against the Bloodline. Have the incest family because did you? I don't know if you saw it, but I believe when it was either on SmackDown, I think it was on SmackDown, but Corey Graves tried to compare the Bloodline to House Targaryen. And I'm like, I understood what he was trying to say because it's the unbeatable dynasty that nobody can beat. But then it's like, dog, we're in the midst of a show where their prominent storyline is the uncle marrying the niece. I don't need you to compare the bloodline to the incest family. Sweet home Targaryen. We don't need that.
All right.
So please, I understand you want to get some pop culture references in, but that's not one you want to
That ain't
tap,
right. That's not
tap
one you
in
want
right
to
now.
bring up.
Don't tap that one in. Don't do that
Boy,
one. Don't do that one yet. So
I'd pack it, my boy. just, just had to bring them up.
like, come on, dog.
We're trying to recover.
We didn't get some GTV footage showing it was showing Stephanie McMahon and Test on a date leaving a motel where Test kissed Stephanie before they pulled off. So Test was getting the cheeks. Okay. Then we get a next segment with Pretty Mean Sisters. It was Terry Reynolds, Ryan Shamrock, which was another weird thing because they had Ryan Shamrock, who was Ken Shamrock's girlfriend in real life, without the name. Like that's his kayfabe sister. So they had his girlfriend play his sister. Gross. It was Terry Reynolds, Ryan Shamrock, and Jacqueline. Man, Jacqueline, respectfully, because that is a gorgeous woman. Accompanying Meat, that was his name, Meat, to the ring. While King went on a rant about testing Stephanie, and I'm like, shut up. Shut up. We had Chaz with Mariana versus Meat. It was up next, and I don't know what was Chaz's pants. Did you catch Chaz's pants?
Nah.
He had like a smiley face on it, on the crotch area, and I'm like, they look like boxer briefs. I don't know why. And all I could write down was this match happened because I did not. And but I give him credit because the ending kind of popped me because Chaz hit the burning hammer on Meat. JR didn't know what the move was, but that was basically the burning hammer to pick up the win. But this match was not good. I don't know what was going on. Don't ask me what happened during it because I don't know. They tried to interview Tess backstage about the footage, and out of nowhere, literally these wrestlers has a habit of cutting into frame. So it literally out of nowhere, Shane legitimately speared the fuck out of Tess into the set, and the Mean Street Posse assaulted Tess in the 4-on-1 assault for, I'm guessing, sleeping with his sister. Cause they came out of the motel. Y'all didn't go over there for the bagels and hot chocolate. Y'all was fucking. And then the Undertaker was just standing in the back, rolling his eyes to the back of his head for some reason. Again, as they were hyped up the main event, I'm like, bro, this dude had a habit of just rolling his eyes to the back of his head, and for what, bro? It ain't that scary. Then we had hardcore Bob Holly come out after Big Swole nearly crushed him with the car, but he missed. Holly asked if that was the best Big Show got because he missed, and then he said he got bigger fish to burn and called out Kane, saying he's the big shot, and says if he wants some hardcore Holly, then come out and fight you, big red retard. And I'm like, well, that wouldn't fly today, but yeah, I digress. And it was like, now it's going to be Kane versus hardcore Holly. And then, okay, King, he's weird, but he kind of got me. He kind of got me chuckle a little bit. He said, "Why would anyone in their right mind call out brimstone breath?" And I'm like, all right, you got me there, King. You got me there. Kane start brimstone breath, hellfire and brimstone ass breath.
Jeez.
Kane started off strong until he went to the top, and Hardcore pushed the ropes, causing Kane to fall. And Hardcore got some offense in until Big Show made his way out there in the uncle who's 4 drinks in at the barbecue sweatpants with no shirt on to choke slam Kane with Teddy Long distracted because Teddy Long was a referee. So I forgot Teddy Long was a referee before because I'm so used to him being GM.
Yeah.
And Holly put his foot on Kane to pick up the win, but the celebration didn't last as Kane quickly recovered to chokeslam Holly twice before running off Teddy, and then he chokeslammed Holly for a third time. Referees tried to run out to stop him, but they got scared. But this segment was solid for what it was. And I am not going to lie to you. This is where I checked into the point where I'm like, okay, these matches don't matter at all.
Like that. So this is it. I said time to skim through.
I'm like, these matches don't matter at all, and your camera froze. But the matches don't matter at all. At all. Next up, we get a segment. It was Triple H and The Rock. They made their way to the ring next. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? I don't. He has so many theme songs, but this one I didn't hate as much. The story of this match is The Rock is pissed at Triple H for costing him the WWF title. Finally. Suela's camera as frozen. Finally.
Great.
It is still frozen. Finally. The Rock has come back to Charlotte. The Rock says, last night at King of the Ring, The Rock did sacrifice me because he took my own hand and stuck it straight up my.
I must be still stuck then.
Yeah, because the finally, because I guess he was talking, he was cutting a promo to the Undertaker, calling him out for what went down at King of the Ring. He said, last night at King of the Ring, The Rock did sacrifice me because he took my own hand and stuck it straight up my candy ass. Because he wrote that. He said that's basically what was written on the back of his neck. And then he says, now Triple H, The Rock says you don't have enough hair on your Rudy Poo candy ass to come out here and let The Rock to come out here to serve you up a nice rock hamburger with extra cheese. And when you get thirsty, The Rock has a nice tall glass of freshly squeezed monkey piss to go along with it. And I'm like, bro, what is your obsession with monkey piss?
That boy.
That man loved talking about monkey urine. And for what?
Just nasty.
Nasty son of a bitch.
Just
If you
nasty, bro.
smell what The Rock is cooking. No, dog.
I don't want to smell that.
You know what pee smell like? No. Especially if they're not hydrated.
Boy.
I don't want to smell that. I don't want to smell what you're cooking, that dog. Triple H made his entrance with China, and the match started with a fist fight. I'm pretty sure every match in this show started with a fist fight. The match ended. It wasn't really a match. It was basically a transition into the next bit, which was the match ending with Billy Gunn attacking The Rock with a club to the face, and it caused the match to end in another DQ. So no more outside interference. Brad Pitt with an attitude, says Jim Ross, and I'm like, who? But then I was like, oh, Brad Pitt, and I was like, because I was confused. I was like, who is Brad? Oh,
Brad
him.
Pitt.
I had a moment. I was like, who? And then Triple H and China walked away as Gunn posed over The Rock. Michael Cole wanted to give an update on The Rock, but then literally out of nowhere, left field, Val Venus was getting his ass whipped by Draws, and Prince Albert was like, good, get his weird ass out of here. Especially if you go based off of his current persona. Sean Morley is a weird motherfucker. Then the Godfather came out with the whole train, and that was a lot of milk. A lot of milk was present with his brother. It's time once again for everybody to come aboard the whole train. Is there any pimps up in this house?
Yup.
And I'm like, huh?
Like the whole train.
The whole, them hoes tell.
Oh.
Y'all know the Godfather be pimping hoes nationwide. I want you to reach down and light it up for the Godfather and say, pimp it ain't easy. And I'm like, this was so 1999.
It is.
And then look at the one in the red. I bet her name is Shagwell, JR. King. All right. This is the part where King was just... It'll be Godfather versus Edge, because wrestling still matter in this company for some reason. It'll be Godfather versus Edge. My sister still thinks he's a vampire because he looks the same, but a little more grizzled now. During the match, Prince Albert and Draws made their way down to the ring for some reason, as King kept talking about the women. So this match really didn't matter. It was basically built to get King's gimmick over. Godfather hit the whole train on Edge before Dross distracted the ref, and Prince Albert hit a military press slam on Godfather before Edge hit a spear on Godfather to pick up the win. This was a match. Didn't really care for it that much. After the match, Albert and Droz assaulted Godfather and tied him up in the ropes before Droz and Albert threatened to give one of the ladies, most specifically the red dress that King was talking about the entire time, a piercing. They were literally going to pierce her tongue in the ring. That was not sanitary at all. Before Edge made the save and helped out the lady and Godfather. I'm like, this segment is still going for some reason. The ladies then hugged up on Edge as a thank you, and the lady in red left with Edge as Gangrel watched on in disgust. Gangrel was watched on and in disgust. I was watching on in confusion why this segment was still going.
I said, so what are we talking about? No, that's how I was. I said, huh? Like, what are we doing again?
Like, oh yeah, wrestling. All right. Then we got another segment with Mr. Ass up next. There's a lot of Billy Gunn on this show, as he goes one-on-one with Bradshaw with possession of the tag team title belt at stake. The match was okay for what it was. As the match progressed, Mr. Ass mooned Farouk, which caused him to get on an apron and
These
go for.
names.
Yeah, these names are weird. For attacking Gunn, but he sidestepped and Farouk connected with Bradshaw accidentally. And when Gunn was about to go for the famouser, X-Pac came and literally pulled his hair and just said, yeet. And Bradshaw connected with the clothesline from hell to pick up the win to reclaim the belt. After the match, China assaulted X-Pac and it was 2-on-1 with Billy until Road Dogg made the save and took out both of their former friends to stand tall with the suck it chance. Because the 25th anniversary of DX is coming up on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to sit through and watch old men reminisce about shit that was popular 25 years ago. Saying, suck it, suck it. Oh my God. Grow the fuck up. Next up, we get it's WWF Women's Champion Ivory with Nicole Bass, and she looks the same from when we last saw her in the Women's Royal Rumble match. She legitimately looks the same. And that's what happens when you choose peace and mind your business. Hey. Ivory issued an open challenge to any woman in the crowd, and she asked Jim, the security, to let the woman who actually walked in. And she said, "It's fake anyways, honey. Don't you know? It's all right. Come on." I'm like, "Oh, y'all was saying anything back then," because I know a lot of old heads would probably get mad at you for saying saying fake. He let the lady stay, and the lady tried to back out until Ivory slapped her, but she fought back until Nicole Bass. Because Nicole Bass was there too.
Mhm.
Snatched her off and hit her with a power bomb before choking her until Ivory pulled her off. And Ivory helped her up and then clotheslined her, and the crowd was even more quiet than I was, and then assaulted her further before pulling her hair as Jim, the security, pulled her off to end the segment. And all I wrote down was, "This was awkward." I have no words for this segment. I'm like, this segment happened. That's all I can say. This segment legitimately happened. That's it. Next up, Michael Cole interviews Vince McMahon about what happened at King of the Ring, and Vince says he's not worried about Stone Cold at all. Then we finally get a commercial break. Chef Boyardee commercial with The Rock at a beach and then a boat. The Rock says, "Don't be a jabroni. Eat your Chef Boyardee beef ravioli." And I wrote down, I don't think I've ever had Chef Boyardee in my life. Have you?
Yeah,
Is it good?
it came in handy.
Is it good?
When you're a
Which
kid, yes. When you're a kid, yes, it is good. I don't know
do
how it
they
tastes now. I
do they
think they
still
still have it.
do they hold on. Go um Chef Boyardee. Is that still a thing? Because
Mm-hmm.
I have not had. Oh, it is still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
$5 at Walmart.
Oh, at Walmart. I remember I got mine from Kroger.
Kroger too. $4 on Amazon. I might have to.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to come around
I'm
to
not gonna
trying it at
lie,
one point.
like that was before I got into ramen at the time.
Oh,
Like Chef Boyardee was
yeah,
there.
oodles and noodles, oodles and
Yeah,
noodles.
and oodles and noodles. Yeah, that was there before I tapped into ramen.
Have you ever had beef and chicken mix?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yes.
I
A
might
lot
have
of
to
people
go buy
don't know
me some.
about
A
that.
lot of people don't know about that. Nah, come on now, like they don't know about that beef and
Yes.
chicken mix. Some people just like chicken, some people just like beef, but they don't like that beef
Mhm.
and chicken mix. Uh, Next up, we got a match. It was Intercontinental Champion Jeff Don't Piss Me Off Jarrett with Deborah versus X Pac for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm echoing for some reason, but King kept whistling to Deborah because of her puppies.
Oh.
His nickname for her tits, basically.
Mhm.
Deborah
Calm
tossed
puppies.
King a "Show Me Your Puppies" t-shirt, and I said, "Please make it stop." Uh, we got some make some noise. X Pac. X Pac was so good here, in my opinion. I don't understand. I never understood the quote unquote X Pac heat. I never understood that. Like, where people legitimately hated X Pac. I'm like, he was good to me. Uh, I wrote down Buddy King kept whistling. and I wanted to poke something into my eardrums to make it stop because he kept whistling to Deborah, "Here, puppy, here." Like, will you please shut the fuck up? I was like, and he kept doing it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, dog, stop. X-Pac hit a low blow on Jeff Jarrett to break free of the chokehold, which the ref didn't see somehow, but Jarrett didn't sell it long. So, all right. They were basically having a Mac Classic, and the crowd could care less. They could not care until the Bronco Buster. And then obviously out of nowhere, Mr. Ass came again and tried to hit X-Pac with Jarrett's guitar, but missed. And Pac took him out long enough for Deborah to get on the apron and unbutton her jacket to expose the rest of her boobies, even though 98% was shown. So what were we doing here, Deborah? You were not. Your attire did not leave anything for the imagination to begin with. You just literally unbuttoned one button. Say, here's the bottom of all the top boobs that I already see. Great.
Basically.
I'm like, all right. Someone tossed in a drink for some reason, and then the camera missed the impact of X-Pac hitting Jarrett with the guitar, and he went for the pin. But Gunn came back in and hit the famouser on X-Pac with the ref distracted, and Jeff pinned X-Pac to pick up the win to retain the title. And then after the match, Gunn continued his assault. I call him Gunner, but Gunn continued his assault on X-Pac until Road Dogg came out of nowhere and followed by China, and it was another pull apart brawl. This time with these four, and X-Pac, Road Dogg was legitimately hitting China in the face, and I'm like, all right, China was a tough woman. Shout out to China, rest in peace. And then after all that, next up we get the main event for the WWF Championship between Stone Cold Steve Austin and the defending champion, The Undertaker. Did you even watch this match?
A little bit.
The Undertaker ministry
But then I
theme.
skimmed through and I ended up knowing who won, but I still skimmed through
Yeah,
it a little bit too at the same time.
I don't blame you. It was basically a a brawl. Like I said, every match started like a brawl. But the Undertaker's ministry theme was a bop coming to the ring by Paul Bearer. Rest in peace, Paul Bearer. The glass shatter always got a pop out of me, no matter what. I'm more of a Disturbed version fan than the OG, but the OG is pretty cool too. They didn't do the customary championship being ascended above the referee's head. They just went straight to brawling. They just did not care. Then, as the match progresses, Paul Bearer took his shoe off and went bonk to the back of Stone Cold's head. He said, "Boop." And then King was still doing his corporate butt kissing thing. He said, "You better start sucking up unless you're out of unless you're out of here." When he said to JR, he said, "Well, why don't you give me a lesson since you're so damn good at it?" And I'm like, all right. He basically said, "Since you're so good at sucking dick, how
So
about
much
you?"
animosity. Like, and you throwing in clues. Like, come on, bro.
Then as the match continued, they brawled all over the place. Austin hit the stunner and was about to pick up the win until Paul Bearer pulled the referee out the ring. Austin took him out briefly, and then they had another exchange, him and the Undertaker, until Austin hit the stunner again to pick up the win to become the WWF champion. And that was the match. Austin called for beers until Undertaker nailed Austin with the belt off the skull and drew blood. So this was basically to set up their first blood match that happened at Fully Loaded, where I believe the stipulation was if the Undertaker won, Stone Cold would never challenge for the WWF Championship again, or versus if Stone Cold won, Vince McMahon was gone from the WWF, which didn't last that long because I believe he was back like 3 months later. So a lot of these stipulations stick in the attitude era. Now that I think about it. But Austin calls for the beer. So basically, I think we probably should watch that match though. Because I haven't seen that match in a while. We probably should watch that match for the return of watching Vibe. It's been a minute since I've seen that match, so we probably should watch that. Raw ends with Undertaker just lighting up Austin in the corner. Oh my God, we're out of time. We gotta go. So that was the end of Raw. Monday Night Raw ends with Undertaker whooping Stone Cold's ass, even though he won the WWF title. Overall, this show was more about the moments and then the matches, which was prominent during the Attitude Era. The pacing kind of felt like a car crash, if you will. So you barely had time to process anything. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I sent a text literally earlier after we watched this. I said I've come to the conclusion that the Attitude Era might be high key overrated. Because it's like this
And I
show didn't.
responded back just like I'm doing now, laughing, like because
It's
I
like
agree.
This show wasn't as bad as WCW that we reviewed last week, but it's like nothing felt as good as people said it was. I don't know. It felt, eh, felt like, okay, cool, all right. But that was WCW, not WCW. That shit sucked. That was Monday Night Raw from June 28th, 1999. The Attitude Era might be high key overrated.
Acknowledge me.
All right, as we get ready to get up out of here, this is the time of the show. Chop it up with the Bandit, the Queen herself. Give us the top 3 trending topics or anything to talk about as we wrap up today's show. Take it away, Queen Rebel.
All right, so the trailer for Super Mario movie is supposed to come out, I believe, Thursday, which is October 6th. It is supposed to star in Chris Pratt. I think he's playing Mario, so I believe. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about it though. But I know it's supposed to come out in theaters, I believe April 7th of next year. But the trailer is supposed to be this Thursday, so I'm definitely excited about that. Black Adam will come out October 21st. Black Adam stars The Rock. So be sure to tune in for that. If you haven't, just check out his Instagram page. He's been promoting it like crazy. So I'm definitely excited about that as well. Also, I did get a chance to talk to some of my um, friends that are in Florida. They're doing just fine. They are all right. They're safe. They still, it's a lot of um, recuperating and things they have to do, and take care of everything after the hurricane just passed. But other than that, they're doing all right. And as always, make sure you guys, keep them in prayer. Also, I believe the BET Awards is supposed to come on today. I think at 9 BT Hip Hop Awards or something like
I
that.
don't,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
watch that shit.
But
I do
yeah, I
not.
think that comes on today at 9 o'clock. If y'all watch that, then yeah, that's supposed to come on tonight, I believe. I want to say, please stay safe out here. Drink your water, please.
Stay hydrated, bitches.
Please. It is about the fall is happening. The fall is, upon us. So make sure, if you gotta stay bundled up, do so. You don't want nobody being sick. Also, as Gresh mentioned, earlier on, make sure that your mental health is very, very important to you. Make sure you, stay up to date on that. Meditate if you have to, read if you have to, find healthy ways to cope if you done dealt with, loss, or even if you're just depressed, there is help. So please, like, don't keep stuff bottled in. Don't try to use different things to suppress that are not good for you. Don't do that. Definitely, if you can, please talk to somebody. It is okay. It's much helpful releasing things than it is to keep it bottled in. And that's all I got. Pretty much for y'all. But as I mentioned before, just please stay safe out here. We don't want nobody, in any tragic accidents or shootings or, whatever the case may be. We don't need that. So please stay safe and please watch out for your children. If you see anything suspicious of any kind, report it. Handle it the best way you know how without, you being in trouble. But other than that, please make sure you take care of that.
Yeah, and I believe that, yep, that's all she got. And I don't really have anything, but make sure you guys stay safe out here for real, because it is wild out here. COVID is still a thing, even though it's not as prominent as it was in 2020. It's still a thing, and make sure y'all stay safe. If you're sick, keep your bitch ass at home. I hate that I
Right.
say it like that. I have to say it like that, but keep your bitch ass at home if you got COVID, because or if you got monkeypox, or if you got any type of sickness, because we ain't trying to get sick out here. Like, I hate this, I have to say it like that, but that's just how I feel. Because what the fuck? Just it should be common sense to keep your ass at home. It really
Please.
is. Please. They got. I'm checking out NXT right now. They got a whole new broadcast team. I believe Vic Joseph isn't there. 3 new people, and Byron Saxton for some reason. Anyway.
Oh, and
Yeah,
Dahmer on Netflix, it has now been trending 496 million hours viewed, like worldwide, I guess.
Dahmer.
Dahmer. It's like it's only in only 2 weeks making Dahmer one of Netflix's most successful series of all time. Dahmer.
Never heard of that.
Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah. If
Yeah.
y'all know what that is, yeah, I recommend you go check that out. It's almost like the person who plays off of American Horror Story. He plays that character. He's actually, they need to just go ahead and give him an award because he's been dope since American Horror Story. So yeah.
And also,
Anyway.
make sure you guys check out Chucky, because this episode will drop right after Chucky premieres. So make sure you guys check that out, because I know
Yeah.
I was a fan of season 1, so season 2 is dropping. And yo, for real though, make sure you guys check out the interviews I got coming up. Like I already said at the top of the show, make sure you check out the one I have with Phoenix Nitro that drops on next Thursday, because we will not be synced together to record our usual episode. So in place of next week, the episode that will drop next week will be the one with Nitro. Then the week after that, more than likely, if I'm not back in town, I probably won't be. So we'll more than likely drop another interview to make up for that, and then we'll more than likely be right back with us before. We'll be right back with each other, I think, before the week of or the week before or week after my birthday. We'll figure that out. Before we get out here, you want to check out, because I believe Extreme Rules is this weekend. You want to give your thoughts on that?
I think so.
Fight Pit
I
match.
think I might. Yeah, I think I might be checking that out for sure. I'm gonna go with Seth
Who you think
Rollins
will
for this one.
Yeah, I'm at. It's like I kind of see them giving them win Seth Rollins, but I don't know why, but I see them giving it to Riddle for some reason.
Okay.
There's that. It's a fight pit match between Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle, and then we have the I Quit match between Edge and Finn Balor. Even though in this picture, Edge looks like he hasn't had sleep in months.
I'm gonna go with Finn Balor because who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe I'll be
Judgment Day needs to
surprised.
win. Judgment Day needs to win, because come on, dog.
Yeah,
They've
I'm
been
gonna go
losing.
with Finn Balor for this.
The strap match between Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre.
I'm gonna give it to Karrion Kross.
Yeah, I had to go with Cross. The Extreme Rules match between SmackDown Women's Champion Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey.
I don't know.
I can see Shayna getting involved.
Yeah, you got a point. Yes, because I almost forgot about her. But yeah, like in the event, I think like maybe she'll end up like interfering.
Okay, and siding with Ronda.
Yeah,
Or
possibly.
I think I saw someone's preview for it. They said, what if Charlotte Flair returns and costs Ronda?
Hey, who knows, man? Who knows?
Then we have we're going to keep to the women. A ladder match for the Raw Women's Championship: Bianca Belair versus Bayley of Damage Control. The way Raw ended, I kind of see them giving Bianca the win without pinning Bayley. But then at the same time, I wouldn't be too much against Bayley winning the title.
Yeah, me either.
It's like this is a situation where I'm like, I hope both team wins.
That's how it's going right now. Like
that's how I'm feeling about it. And then the last match we have is a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Is Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Botch, Ridge Holland, Pete Butch Dunn, Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci. I might have to put the
I might
Brawling
have to put it
Brutes.
on Imperium. Oh, you got Brawling
Okay.
Brutes? Okay, that's not
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, we split on this one, but kind of just see because this is their match, and the last time Sheamus had
Yeah,
a
they
Donnybrook
did
match,
lose. Yeah,
Sheamus lost. So I'm like,
yeah.
I kind of want to give them that rub, but we'll see. This will be a fun match. This is the most extreme rules event since last year when they only had one Extreme Rules match where Finn Balor lost because
Mhm.
the belt the turnbuckle buckled under the weight of his 175-pound self, even though he's been up there a million times. But that was dumb, but it is what it is. But and speaking of not being dumb though, and that concludes today's episode of the Gresh Unleashed podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you guys check us out over at www.greshunleashed.com if you listening in audio format, or make sure you hit that subscribe button because according to YouTube, we have to say subscribe a lot. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that follow button, and make sure you hit wherever you listen to or you're checking out this podcast. Make sure you guys show support there. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in the world of unknown. But the one thing that you should know is that we appreciate you, we love you, we respect you, and we thank you. And with that being said, you guys stay safe, stay safe out here. And remember to always make sure you cop the merch, Eat, Sleep, Flex, and Repeat. Make sure you cop the merch. And also make sure before I sign off officially, make sure you cop the new merch is flexing season that is available now over at gresh.live/merch. Make sure you cop that and make sure you rock that. And we also have a limited edition of the flexing season. It is purple and gold. It is partially because it's Halloween season, but also if you're a fan of the Lakers, that's something you guys will probably want to cop as well. You have different variations that you can catch over at the official gresh.live/merch store. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out here. And remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Oh yeah, be free.
Bye, y'all.